Man, I was looking around for a guitar, man. If you weren't rocking out just now, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with you. I just don't know what's wrong with you. I was in here just doom 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 doom. So okay, listen. I know this may surprise you, but I'm not Brent. Can we just clear that up real quick? I'm not Brent. I know you can't believe it, but it's me, Oliver Marcel. I'm so happy to be here hanging out with you guys. What's up, Fallible Nation? What's happening? Listen, we got some folk already in the comments saying, here we go. I see Jessica in the comments. Who else we see? We said Brent in the comments. Barb and I are ready. Okay, let's go. Barb and I are ready. Welcome to Manly Monday Live. I'm grateful to be here. I'm Oliver Marcel. I have the awesome privilege of being Brent today. I don't look as good as Brent. It's okay. You'll get over it, but we're still going to have a good time as well. So listen, you guys are already doing it. You're already sounding off in the comments. We have some things we're going to talk about today as it relates to life coaching and some easy tricks that you can use to boost your confidence. But listen, here's what I want you to do. I want you to do what you're already doing. Sound off in the comments. Let us know where you're coming from. Let us know what city you're in. And like, who was it? Jessica, I think, said, Barb and I are ready. Let us know you're ready. David, good stuff, man. Thank you for being here. I saw he makes a good me. Okay. All right. I'll take that. So listen, here's what I want you to do as you're shouting out in the comments and making sure that you are letting us know that you're here. We want you to also be sure to fill out the form. There's a form under the video if you want to join us for the live on air Q&A, which I love that Brent does this live on air Q&A where you can actually come on with me live and ask your question. So listen, come on, I want you to do it. So make sure that you fill out that form so that you can get on with me for the live Q&A. And also, if you're going to put your questions in the chat, make sure that you put a double Q in front of your question so we know that it is a question, okay? Put a double Q in front of the question, and if you want to come on live, you know what to do. Fill that form out. I'm urging you to come on live because I love to talk to people face to face. All right. So like I said in the beginning, today we're going to talk about some life coaching tips, and we're going to talk about some easy tricks, 8 easy tricks to boost your confidence. If you're like me, sometimes you get in this rut. I'll be willing to admit it. Sometimes you get in this rut where you're just not as confident as you want to be. And you don't really have the capacity to drum up the confidence that you need at the time. Listen, we're going to talk through 8 easy tricks to boost your confidence. And we're going to get right into that after this. All right, listen. So after this happened a lot quicker than I was prepared for. Listen, we're going to have some fun tonight. I'm really excited about this opportunity. And I want to say shout out to Brent and to Sarah. Thank you. All jokes aside, thank you for entrusting me with your community. I don't take that lightly. And I hope and pray that I do well, that we have a great time. Jessica, I know Jessica's in the comments. Jessica will let me know whether I am doing Brent justice. I know that Jessica will do that for me. So listen, let's get into these 8 tips. And this is great for me because I can honestly say that there are times in my life where I have to kind of muster up this confidence, either whether it's to be on camera, whether it's to get in front of folks in a speaking engagement, whatever it may be. Sometimes I have to muster up that confidence. Sometimes the confidence is not really, it's not organic. So listen, those of you who are in the comments, if you're like me and there are times where the confidence is really not organic, let me know. I would prefer not to be alone on this, but it's okay. If I'm out on a limb, that's fine. We may have some great confidence booster things here. Confidence boost people. but I'm not always one of those people. So this is going to be good for me. And I hope that for those of you who are watching live with me now, and for those of you who might be watching the replay, that you will really be able to benefit from some of the things that we've talked about. So I saw Jessica. Jessica's in the comments. B said today was going to be extra special. Okay, now you put the pressure on. Okay, thank you, Jessica. Jessica put the pressure on me just now. What's up, Fallible Nation? Grateful to Oliver for hosting for me tonight. Hey, listen, it's my pleasure. It is my pleasure. Trust me, it's my pleasure. Thank you again for entrusting me. I see Sarah down there. Sarah said me, and I think Sarah's talking about the confidence thing, right? Hey, I got somebody in the house with me that sometimes has to muster up that confidence. I also saw that Jessica said I have to fake it. And listen, let's be real with each other. Sometimes it's not organic. Sometimes we actually are faking it, right? I'll be honest with you. I've done some speaking engagements where at the beginning of the speaking engagement, I was like, okay, you know, let me get myself together. Like the music in the beginning was fantastic because that rock out music can surely get you in the mood that you want to be in. And Jessica said my music pumps up my confidence, and you went exactly where I was going. Sometimes you got to do some things to boost that confidence. Sometimes you have to. It's not organic, so you got to pull from other sources. You got to have people around you, or you got to have music, or you got to have to do these other things to really kind of get you going, right? So I got some folk with me. I got Sarah with me. I got Jessica with me, and so let's talk about a few of things that we can do. And listen, they're not hard things to do. We're going to walk through these 8, and I want you to talk back to me if one resonates with you, shout it out in the comments. The first one is walk 25% faster. And some people might be like, "Okay, what? Walk 25% faster?" Yes. Walk 25% faster just by moving a little bit quicker. There's some things that happen when you move a little bit quicker, right? You get the juices flowing, you get the adrenaline going just by moving a little bit quicker, throwing your shoulders back, right? Lifting up your head, like not looking down. Like sometimes what happens, and I'll speak for myself, I won't speak for Jessica or Sarah, even though they're with me. I know for me, sometimes I have the tendency to hang my head down when I'm not feeling as confident. That's a clear indicator that I'm not feeling that confident. But you got to lift your head up. You got to lift your head up, point in the right direction, move a little bit faster. And as you move faster and move with some level of intentionality, you kind of start to, when those juices start flowing, it's hard to, let me say this, it's hard to move faster and actually be slow. Yeah, it's hard to move faster and be slow. I'm not saying run because you might be out of breath, especially if you're trying to do a speaking engagement. Don't run because you might get up on the stage and be and be out of breath. Now, Sarah's saying that um, found the need to act confident, to feel confident. I like that. I like that, and that actually, Sarah, is going to kind of come up in some of this that we're talking about because sometimes that is what you have to do. Some people say fake it till you make it. Everybody's kind of heard that phrase, right? Fake it till you make it. And sometimes I don't like that phrase because sometimes the connotation is that you don't want to do something or you want to trick somebody into thinking that you want to do something and you really don't. You can take that two different ways. But yes, you do have to sometimes act out the thing that you're trying to accomplish. And so I agree with you, Sarah. Sometimes you have to act confident in order to feel confident. So the first one, put in the comments, what's the first one? Walk 25% faster. Walk 25% faster. Now, we got a comment from Jessica, and Jessica says, um, all the things, all the things. Disney radio pumps my mood. Hakuna Matata. I love it. I love it. Everybody has their thing, right? Listen, I was out. Can I be transparent with you? People who know me, Brent and Sarah know me. They know that I'm pretty transparent sometimes to a fault. I I was looking at this and I'm like, man, I want to do Brent justice. This is the Fallible, man. Like, this is a super, super dope show. And I want to make sure that I'm doing my best. And so I'm sitting here doing my own thing. And to speak to what Jessica was just talking about, the music, man, when that music started, I was like, oh yeah, yeah, we're good. This is it. This is it. This is the thing that's going to get the juices flowing. And then I had to move 25% faster. I started kind of rocking out. Sarah can tell you, she probably saw me. I was rocking out, right? Katie Powell said, thanks, Oliver. Absolutely. Thank you, Katie, for being here with us with this conversation. So the first one was walk 25% faster. I told you they're not going to be hard. Just get out there and start moving a little bit quicker. The second one is this is going to sound funny because we just said to walk faster, but the second one is actually to talk slowly. Now, here's the thing about this. That's something that I have to be very, very cognizant of, especially when I'm doing a speaking engagement, because I have the tendency to talk faster because I'm a little bit nervous. Part of that confidence piece is that my nerves are all over the place. And so I start saying stuff real fast, real fast. Jessica says forcing a smile releases dopamine. I do that a lot. I love that. I love that, Jessica. And you know what? That's probably going to come up in one of the other ones that we do as well. Sarah said I was totally rocking out. I was too, Sarah. I'm telling you, that thing is an adrenaline booster, right? So with talking slowly, right? People who feel like they aren't worthy of being listened to, they tend to talk real fast. And people who are trying to get something by you tend to talk real fast as well. Remember the old adage about the car salesman, right? The crooked car salesman. He just be talking real fast, and yeah, you need this car. Yeah, don't worry about it. Oh yeah, don't worry about that. The door's not here. Yeah, don't worry about it. You don't need the door. You don't need the door. You need more air conditioning. You need more air. That some people will talk fast like that, and some people who are not confident or maybe nervous also talk fast. So what you got to do is you almost have to measure your words in a way that sounds to you like you're talking too slow. You'll be surprised. Just like they say when you're talking in front of people that you need to over pronunciate your words because the audience hears it normal. To you, you sound like you're saying Oliver Marcel. That's what it sounds like in your head, but you're actually giving yourself the time and space to really enunciate the way that you should. And it allows others to hear you. And it also allows you to do some things with your breathing. It allows you to adjust and level out your breathing so that you're now calm down. Like even I have to do it. I'm excited about being here tonight. And so I'm kind of talking fast myself, right? And so you got to kind of calm yourself down and think about what you're trying to say. And listen, in order for you to help boost your confidence, you see what I'm doing here? I'm going a little bit slower. In order for you to help boost your confidence, it's really important that you take the time to talk a little bit slower, right? Talk a little bit slower to ensure that you're not rushing. And I love, Brent, he had some notes that he shared with me and he said, think Sam Elliott or Clint Eastwood. So I don't know if any of you are familiar with, and let me know in the comments if you're familiar with this show, 1883. One of my favorites, right? And you think about how he just kind of methodically talks. And it's almost like it makes you kind of hang on what he's about to say because of the way that he is spacing between certain phrases and emphasizing certain words and taking pauses and things of that nature. That helps you to boost your confidence because as your breathing settles, as your body settles, and as your mind starts to settle into what you're saying, you start to feel a little bit better and a little bit more confident. So let me know if you know anything about 1883 in the comments. That's one of my favorite shows. Or just tell me what your favorite show is, favorite Sam Elliott movie or show. If you are a Sam Elliott fan, favorite Clint Eastwood show or movie if you're a Clint Eastwood fan. Let me know what those are as well. And then we're going to go, while you're doing that, we're going to go on to number three. Number three. So let me recap. So we're going to do this class style. First one is walk 25% faster. Second one is talk slowly. The third one is accomplish small goals. Accomplish small goals. And I see some comments in there. Roadhouse. Yes, indeed. That's a good one. Roadhouse. And Jessica said the stash, the stash of authority. Yes, indeed. So okay, we got some fans out there. We got some Sam Elliott and some Clint Eastwood fans out there. That's good stuff. So accomplish small goals. And it's funny that this would be one of them, right? Because Sarah and I were having a conversation prior to the show starting, and talking about how often the negative things that happen in our lives carry so much weight, and they don't allow us to enjoy the small wins that we have. And so what you need to do is think about it this way. Excuse me. Think about it this way. Progress is progress, and all progress is worthy of being celebrated. Let me repeat that. Progress is progress. I need to encourage somebody today. Progress is progress, and all progress is worthy of being celebrated. We live in this day and age where the small goals don't always get celebrated. The small goals don't always get celebrated, and we got to do better with that, right? I see some more comments coming in. The man who killed Hitter and Bigfoot. Yeah. Okay. And then I see another comment. Oh, just saying that was a great movie. Echoing Jess's comment. Good stuff. Yeah, we got fans out there. I love it. I love it. So remember this. If you don't remember anything else today, remember that progress is progress. And I tell people all the time, if you step outside of your house right now and you put one foot in front of the other in a particular direction for an hour, one foot in front of the other for an hour later, you may not be at your destination if it's more than an hour away, but you're going to be an hour away from your home. You're going to be an hour further than where you were. So make sure that you're taking time to really look at the small wins, right? And I know that Brent has talked about this before. So those of you who are part of the Fallible Man community, you've heard Brent talk about this before, about accomplishing small goals, about stacking small achievements, right? So listen, and we'll go back to the conversation just to bring it home. We'll go back to the conversation that Sarah and I were having earlier. And Sarah was saying, man, I got some things done around the house today. We got a late start with some things, but those things got done. And yeah, those are good things, man. Stack those small goals, and they give you a sense of forward progress, and they give you a sense of confidence when you begin to embrace the fact that all progress is worthy of celebration. Because what that celebration does, I tell folk this all the time, any behavior that you want to see consistent should be celebrated, because what it does is it boosts the person's confidence to be like, oh, okay, this is a good thing. I want to continue to do a good thing. All right. So make sure that you are accomplishing small goals. And here's what you got to do. You got to set some goals, obviously, to be able to accomplish goals. Right. So let's go back a little further. Set some goals that are achievable, because then that will help you build your confidence. So if I'm just learning how to play basketball, my immediate goal can't be the NBA if I'm just picking up a basketball for the first time, right? I have to set some goals that are attainable and that I can achieve, that will help me build my confidence and help me to learn and grow. I see Ryan's comment. Thank you for joining us, Ryan. Appreciate that. I've taken the little by little with losing weight and being happy with a downward trend. It's been so liberating and helpful. I love it. I love that, Ryan. And keep celebrating that downward trend, right? because you look up one day 6 months from now and compare that to where you are today, or today compared to where you were 6 months before. That is progress, and progress deserves to be celebrated. So that is awesome. And I see Brent in the comments saying that is awesome, Ryan. That is fantastic. I love it, man. We need to all celebrate Brian. Let's celebrate Ryan, man, in the comments. Give Ryan a round of applause, because also that celebration, it's important that we're celebrating other people as well. Because yes, we need to recognize within ourselves that we need to accomplish small goals and we need to celebrate progress, but we also need to be celebrating other people as well. And that is fantastic, Ryan. So shout out to Ryan. Listen, I was supposed to be buying some pom poms because I coach married clients, and I told a client that I was getting some pom poms, but I haven't gotten my pom poms in yet. So Ryan, just we're just gonna pretend I got some pom poms in my hand right now. Shout out to Ryan. Matter of fact, let's give Ryan a round of applause. I love it. I love it, Ryan. Absolutely. And that is how you do it. You have to accomplish small goals, and you have to understand. I know I'm saying it over and over, but I need folk to get this. You have to understand that progress is progress, and progress deserves to be celebrated. All right. So we're talking about walking 25% faster. We're talking about talking a little bit slower. We're talking about accomplishing small goals. That's so number 4 now is to dress nicely. I love this one, right? And um, I don't know now. I know with my generation, my father's older. He's in his 80s now, but I remember him saying as we were growing up, you gotta look the part. Like you gotta look the part. If you're going out for a job, you can't go in there looking raggedy. You gotta look the part. And I agree with that. If you think about it, if you're honest with yourself, and you can tell me in the comments, when you feel like you look nice and you smell good and your hair is just laid just right, well, not really, doesn't really apply to me. But like my beard. How about we use we use my beard? My beard is laid right, and you got the right, uh, shape up and all of that, and everything seems like it feels and looks good and smells good. You feel better about yourself. There's just something that happens, that euphoria that kind of wells up in you when you're like, man, I'm looking good today. I got on a nice pair of shoes. I got on this nice dress. I got on this nice suit. Whatever it is that is nice for you, because nice is I'll be honest, nice is kind of relative, right? We all have the GQ definition and the Mademoiselle definition of what that is, but it's really just about you feeling good about how you look, right? And it may come across as cliche. That's why, I had to mention my dad saying, "Oh, you got to look the part." These days, looking the part looks a lot different than what it did when I was 15 years old, right? So feeling good may be you got on that fresh, brand new Fallible man hoodie. You got on some nice new jeans. You got on your favorite pair of Jordans, and you got on your favorite cologne, and you are feeling good about the day. That is going to help you feel more confident. Or it could be the other extreme. It could be, man, I got on this nice fresh suit, got on my favorite tie, my favorite cufflinks, whatever it is. Be intentional about applying the level of self-care that's necessary so that you continue to feel good about yourself, because as you feel good about yourself, you are you feel more confident. So let me do this. Let me take a break, because I want to hear from the folk in the comments. So what's your favorite outfit? So what does dressing nicely look like to you, right? Is it that listen, I had the privilege of getting a Fallible Man t-shirt. That t-shirt is so nice, and with the right, underneath the right jacket, and with the right jeans, and with the right sneakers, man, it's a good look. If my beard is shaped up real nice, I'm feeling like rocking out with the Fallible Man. So what's the thing as it relates to dressing nicely that always works for you as it relates to confidence? Let us know in the comments what that is, right? And while you're doing that, I'll say this. I was talking about how it's different now for different people, right? Because we live in a different age now where the things that are nicely dressed mean something different to different people. So I don't want you to feel like you have to be dressed a certain way in order for you to be confident. No, don't take it that way. What we're saying is that you need to feel good about how you're dressed. You need to feel like Jessica just said, the eyeliner is fly, the eyeliner is popping. And when the eyeliner is popping, Jessica is out there like, yeah, I'm good today, right? So that those are the kinds of things that we're talking about. Whatever it is for you, it's not about fitting into a box or fitting into a mold. It's about you feeling your best. And when you feel your best, typically you feel a little bit more confident, right? Because we're talking about some confident, these are almost, you can almost call them like confidence hacks, right? You know how you hear the term life hacks? We're talking about these easy tricks to boost your confidence. And we talked about, so far, we've talked about walking 25% faster, right? We've talked about talking slowly. We've talked about accomplishing small goals. And if you have any questions, remember, if you have any questions, you can do one of two things. Either put your question in the chat with QQ in front of it, or fill out the form if you want to jump on live and ask the question with me. So we talked about accomplishing small goals, and we talked about dressing nicely. And Cassie Nelson, I hope I'm saying that correctly, said anything red, and I'm out here looking as fly as can be. I love it. Anything red. And so that's what it is. And make sure that you're doing that as often as possible, right? We've talked a lot about self-care as it relates to where we are in the world and when the pandemic hit, and there was a lot of things that really kind of came to the forefront, mindfulness and self-care and all of these kinds of things that came to the forefront. Self-care is so important, right? It's more than just confidence. It is uh it is the feeling that you have, the mindset that it helps to create. And as you create the positive mindset that you need to have, your perspective changes about certain things. And when your perspective changes, your approach typically follows your perspective. So now if you're feeling like, man, I'm feeling good about the day, I'm looking good about the day, you're going to approach all of the activities in that day a lot different than if you didn't feel good or you didn't feel like you were confident, right? Ryan says, with small children, having a clean shirt makes all the difference for him. That's awesome. And listen, I remember having small children, and I remember vividly when you said that, Ryan. It made me think about a time where my son was small, and I was wearing a suit, and I was wearing a suit, and when you have small kids, the danger of getting messed up is always imminent, right? And so I remember one time where my son got my tie, and because he threw up and he got my tie. So I remember that instance. And then one of my nephews, I have a friend of mine who's like a brother to me. One day his son was sitting on my lap, and I had on I don't know if you guys are, I'm gonna date myself right now, but I had a rayon shirt. I don't know if you remember when everybody was wearing these rayon shirts. It felt real silky smooth. I felt like I was looking great. It was one of my favorite rayon shirts. I had a beautiful outfit on, and man, he just completely ruined it. Completely ruined it. So I get it. I get it, Ryan. Having a clean shirt makes all the difference. We got a question from Twisted Designer, uh, and I'll go ahead and take that now. It also helps to always have a positive outlook. Yes. Now, you didn't form that like a question, but I'm going to say yes. I'm going to answer yes. It always helps to have a positive outlook because, like I said, your positive outlook shapes your perspective. And I promise you, if you think about this and if you're honest with yourself, your approach always, almost always follows your perspective. So depending on how you feel about a certain person, about a certain thing, think about it like this. You hate your job. That's your perspective. Oh man, this job, I can't stand it. I hate the people, man. My boss is a jerk. Da, 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 da. You're going to go into that job feeling some kind of way. You probably won't be skipping through the lobby to get to your desk, right? Because your approach is following your perspective. And so to Twisted Designer's comment, absolutely 100% yes. It helps to always have a positive outlook. I see Sarah's is agreeing with Ryan, and Twisted Designer said also music helps as well. Yes, and Twisted Designer, I don't know if you're typically here with Brent, so and I see you came in a little bit afterwards, so you may not have heard the music, but man, let me tell you something. You want to get, I'm almost tempted to have Sarah play that music again just as a halftime, because that opener, if you are not ready to go after that opener, man, then I don't know. We need to shock you. So that's good stuff, man. Twisted Designer music also helps as well. And yes, I agree. Glad to see Tim joining. So, all right. So we did 4 so far. Let's quickly go through the last 4. Number 5 is empower yourself with knowledge. This is a good one, right? So the act of gaining more knowledge will automatically help you to feel confident. So think about it. It only makes sense. If you know what you're talking about and you've done the reading and you've done the research and you've studied it, you're going to be more confident. Think about it as when we were in school, or for those who may still be in school. If you study for that test, you're going to go into there like, okay, I got this. We're about to knock this out the park. But if you didn't, you're like, oh man, you'll be like me. Can I get personal? You'll be like me. You'll be like, please, Lord, I know I didn't really study the way I should, but can you just can you get me through? Can I get a C+ on this? So getting that knowledge, right? And it doesn't have to be a whole lot of. It doesn't have to be like PhD knowledge. Now, if that's where you want to go, then absolutely go for your dreams. But it's about just knowing what you need to know for the season and the time period that you're in, right? So I'll give you a great example. For this show, Brent asked me to guest host, and he sent me some information. Now, I could have done one of 2 things. I could have ignored everything Brent sent me and just got up here and just wing it. And then Brent's community would be like, don't ever bring that guy back. Right? Or I could read through what Brent sent me. I have it up on this screen. I printed it out and put it here. I read it a couple of times. I talked to Sarah ahead of time. And that helped me feel a little bit better about getting up in front of this fantastic Fallible Nation today to share what we have to share. So make sure that you are getting the knowledge that you need, reading the books that you need to read, listening to the podcasts that you need to listen to. Listen, you're already in a great place right now. Brent is awesome. And if you've watched any of the rest of these, you already know that. So this is a great source of knowledge for you that can help you to feel more confident as you journey through life, right? Twisted Designer said that, yes, 1883 is a good one and a good example. You're right. Yes, indeed. It is a good example of, and we mentioned that we were talking about talking slowly. And if you listen to how he talks in that show, you're hanging on because you want to know what he's going to say, right? And there's something about very methodically and very carefully pacing yourself as it relates to talking. So yes, thank you for that, Twisted Designer. So there's not a whole lot. I won't beat a dead horse, so to speak, but just make sure that you're doing everything that you can. There's so much information at your disposal right now. YouTube University is a great example of that. This show is a fantastic example of that, and it will help you to feel more confident. That's number 5. Let's go to number 6. Number 6 is something that they told us when I was in school, and I hated it because I didn't want to do it. And number 6 is take the front row. You'd be surprised there are some things that you can do in life that they seem like they're insignificant, but they play a very significant psychological role in how you feel and your mindset and your perspective and your approach. And this is one of them. A lot of people sit in the back because they don't want attention. That was me. I'll tell you that right now. I go into class, I'm like, let me slide in the back. I don't want the teacher calling on me. And part of the reason I didn't want the teacher to call on me is because I didn't do number 5, which was empower myself with knowledge. So I wasn't prepared for the class. So I'm like, I'm definitely not sitting in the front row because I don't want the teacher calling on me. But when you sit in the front row, right? And here's the thing. I'm gonna read what Brent sent me because this is important. I want to say it word for word. Uh, Important or powerful people are always seated in the front of venues. So if you're taking notes right now, this is you need to write that down. Important or powerful people always seated in the front of venues. Here's something what I've noticed. I've had the privilege in the last couple of weeks to sit in some meetings with some individuals. I'm in the Baltimore metropolitan area, and I've had the privilege of sitting in some meetings with some legislative individuals for Baltimore County. I've noticed that, and I've been close to the front of these, and I've been able to actually meet with people and talk with people and get business cards and have conversations because I didn't sit in the back and then dip out when it was time to go. I was sitting up where the people are so that I could be seen, and people want to know, who is this guy? Who's this new guy who's never been in these meetings? And I even got to introduce myself to an entire group a couple days ago because I was sitting that close to the front that everybody was like, okay, who is this guy? Maybe we need to know who he is. And I was just there to observe. And so I can attest to the fact that what was written on this paper is true. I got to meet some influential people in the Baltimore County legislature. And so make sure that you are taking advantage of sitting in the front, right? And I think it was Ryan had a comment that said sitting in the front of the classroom helped me so much in college. See? There, if you didn't believe me, Ryan just said it. Believe Ryan. Take the front row. So let me ask you to do this, right? I know we've been talking together, and I love that you guys are engaging with me in the comments. If there's one that you've heard so far that is something you do all the time, I want you to put that in the comments. And then if there's one that you want to begin to start doing, because listen, it's all about learning and growing, right? So there's some things that I was looking at when I looked through these 8 things. I'm like, man, I need to get intentional about doing some of these things like consistently. So let me know in the comments if there's one, and I'll say them all so that you can remember what they are. If there's one that resonates with you, you're like, man, this is something I always do, let us know in the comments. And if there's one that you are like, man, I need to start doing that today, let me know what they are. Because so far we've talked about walking 25% faster. We've talked about talking slowly, really measuring your words and your phrases, right? We talked about the importance of progress and accomplishing small goals, and the fact that progress is indeed progress and should be celebrated. It deserves, matter of fact, to be celebrated. We talked about dressing nicely, and some folk talked about in the comments how when the eyeliner is popping and when I got on red and when I have on a fresh, clean, crisp shirt, that I feel better. And so dressing nicely is one of them. And then empowering yourself with knowledge, making sure that you're taking advantage of everything that's at your disposal, the ebooks and the audio books and the Fallible Man YouTube channel. Can we just take a pause there and shout out the Fallible Man YouTube channel? That right there alone can can help you accomplish what you're trying to accomplish right now. And then we talked about taking the front row. And I got to read, I love this. And that's why I'm saying it word for word. Important or powerful people are always seated in the front row of venues. I love that the comments are coming in. I'm seeing no more excuses. is saying, "Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Love having Oliver on the show. Thank you so much. Thank you for the love. I appreciate that." From No More Excuses. Um, Jessica said, "Got in my car driving. No more talking." Okay, understood. Understood. Jessica was hanging out with me. She's keeping me honest today to make sure that I'm doing Brent justice, but she's in the car right now. And Katie Powell, shout out to Katie Powell. Thank you for this, accomplishing small goals. That's a good one. And Katie, can I just say with you, and Sarah is my witness, that's something we talked about right before the show. The importance of really leaning in and not letting the negative things overshadow the good things that we've been doing. We may go through the entire day and you could count 10 small things that you've done, but that one thing that didn't go right seems to overshadow that. So Katie, I'm with you 1,000%. Listen, Katie, you got to keep me honest, and I'm going to do that as well. I need to start accomplishing small goals, and I need to start remembering that progress is progress. If I was able to knock some things off of my to-do list, I did good, and they need to be celebrated. I see Ryan said, I really want to dig into more books. That is awesome, Ryan. I want to dig into more books to get more knowledge to get more knowledgeable about things I care most about. I love that. Yeah. I love that. Matter of fact, Ryan, tell me this, Ryan. What are you reading right now? Put in the comments. What are you reading right now, or what do you want to read? I'll give you an example. I just got The Psychology of Money, and I can't remember. I don't have it in front of me. I can't remember who the author is, but that is one that I just got that I want to start digging into, The Psychology of Money, because I'm really curious to see what he has to say about that. Twisted Designer said, "Thanks, Oliver, for helping host. You're doing a great job. I appreciate that. Thank you, Twisted Designer. Thank you for the love. That means a lot to me because I was like, man, can I be Brent? Because Brent is super dope. So I was like, okay, that's cool." Twisted Designer also said, "I'm always trying to learn something new every day." I really like that one. And you know what, Twisted Designer? I'm glad you said that because I heard a coach say not too long ago that the goal is to be 1% better than you were yesterday. So if you think about it, right? That sounds like 1%. That's nothing. But think about, again, going back to what I said about putting one foot in front of the other. If you put one foot in front of the other for an hour, you're going to look up and be like, man, I'm really far from where I started. You might not be at your destination, but the goal is about progress. So I love that. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing that with us as well. So we got two more that we're going to go through, and we're going to go through them really quickly, and then we'll do some Q&A, and we'll do some other things, and then do a wrap up. So number 7 is practice making eye contact. Practice making eye contact. And listen, there's again, going back to, I'm thinking about my dad. There's something that my dad always told me. It was like, when somebody's talking to you, look at them. Always told me that. And listen, I'll be honest, sometimes that's uncomfortable to do. But we got to get in the habit of practicing doing that. And here's my suggestion that I would make, right? My suggestion that I would make to you is that when you're practicing anything, doesn't matter what it is, don't practice in the most tense of situations. Practice with the things that you know, again, going back to number 3, which is accomplish small goals. Practice with the things that you know you can get good at. So having eye contact with your wife if you're married, or your husband if you're married, or your kids if you have kids, or somebody in your family that you're comfortable with. Start practicing there, so that by the time you get to the big interview, or standing in front of 1,000 people, you can do a little bit better with that. Or you're in the boardroom, you can do better with that. So that's a good thing. Thank you, Ryan, for sharing. Ryan said, "I just finished Crime and Punishment and getting into Ordinary Men." Okay, good stuff. Getting into some deep psychology. I love it. I love it, because it's always interesting to understand how the mind works and how you can apply some of those principles to what you're doing. So that's my tip for practicing eye contact. Practice with your loved ones, people who you're already comfortable around, and practice making eye contact with them as you're speaking, and interacting with them. And then when you get that nice boardroom job, that CEO job, you'll be able to look right in somebody's eye. You'll be able to look right into their eye. Jessica said Brent has me reading the standing meditation. Awesome, awesome. I might have to check that out. Brent, you have to give me send me the author for that to check that out. All right, so we're at coming up on the last one. Hopefully you guys are getting some good information. Listen, if you're getting some good information, uh let me know if you're getting some good information, right? And also, what I didn't mention, I failed to mention this. After we go through this, yes, there's Q&A, but we're also going to do a giveaway. Mm. And you know Brent, man, Brent is the king of giveaway. Like, so I'm looking forward to that myself. All right, so let's get into number 8 so we can get into all that other stuff as well. So number 8 is practice speaking up whenever possible. Again, another tough one for a lot of folks. But practice speaking up whenever possible. And remember, that word practice is in there again. So going back to the one we just talked about, you don't want to begin practicing on the main stage, right? You want to practice in a place where you feel comfortable, because what it allows you to do, it allows you to go through all of these other things, especially the accomplished small goals. Because as you feel more confident, think about it like this. I'm a sports guy. Brent knows this. I give a gazillion sports analogies. I'm surprised I didn't do any more than I've done already. But if 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 5 guys, let's see, do we have enough for 5 guys? Me, Ryan, Brent. I don't know if Twisted Designer is a guy, but let's say me, Ryan, and Brent, and 2 other guys. We form a basketball team. Our first game can't be against an NBA team. I don't know about the rest of those guys. They may be good, but I don't think I'm confident enough to do that yet. So we got to go and play some other games that help us learn each other and help us build up our confidence, so that we can maybe one day move up the ladder to get to some of those other games. And it's the same thing with practicing making eye contact and practicing speaking up whenever possible, right? So speak at the family reunion. Say something, say, "Hey, welcome to everybody. I'm glad to see you all here. It's so glad to see Aunt so and so and Uncle so and so." Practice in some places where you can be a little bit more comfortable. Practice at church if that's a little bit more comfortable, or your church group if you're a church person, or your focus group at work, or places where you know that you can do that. I saw, is that Brent? It's that they, they would have to give you a handicap just. No, I know you're better than that, bro. Now we would have to practice, but I don't believe that. Brent is dope at everything, so I love it. So all right, so let me quickly go back through the 8, and then we're gonna get into some other stuff, Q&A and giveaway, right? So quickly, walk 25% faster. Talk slowly. Make sure that you are accomplishing small goals. Make sure that you're dressed nicely. You feel good about how you look. Get your favorite cologne, get your favorite whatever it is, right? Make sure that you're empowering yourself with knowledge. You saw in the comments all of these books that individuals have mentioned. You could even start there. Research some of the books that you saw people mention in the comments. Make sure that you are, listen, here, I can't drive this home enough. Make sure you are subscribed to the Fallible Man YouTube channel. Come on now. What are you doing? Make sure you're subscribed. Number 6, take the front row. And I'm going to say it again. Important or powerful people are always seated in the front row of venues. Listen, people may think, I gave you my experience. People may deem you important just because you're in the front. For those of you who might have missed it, I just gave my experience. I had the opportunity a couple days ago to sit in a meeting with some of the legislative individuals in Baltimore County. I sat up close to the front, and somebody was like, "We would like for you to introduce yourself." I was like, "Me? I'm just here to listen." But I got the opportunity to address the entire group because I wasn't in the back. So don't miss out on the opportunity Oh, that's for the Q&A. Don't miss out on the opportunity for Q&A, is what Brent is saying. Um, yes, yeah. So I would love for you to engage with me in the Q&A. Oh, I missed a comment. I'm sorry. The common man OCR said, "Heck yes, heck yeah, absolutely." Right. So that was take the front row. Number 7 is practice making eye contact, and number 8 is practice speaking whenever possible. And we already talked about that, right? So Jessica, I love it. Jessica's keeping us honest. Subscribe and hit the bell. Right. Don't just subscribe. Thank you, Jessica. Don't just subscribe to the Fallible Man YouTube channel. Make sure you hit the bell so that every time Brent gets on, because I'm telling you right now, he has the most phenomenal guests. And even when there are no guests, Brent is giving out wisdom, which will help you accomplish number 5, which is empower yourself with knowledge. Right. So those are the 8. And I saw some folk talk about what they wanted to do in what they wanted to work on. And I'm with who did I say I was going to be with? Who was supposed to be keeping me honest? Katie. Katie's supposed to be keeping me honest. I am going to really be intentional about accomplishing small goals. That's really important to me because it's so important to boost your confidence when you feel better about yourself. Others, you exude that to others. People feel that, and they want to know one of two things. They want to know either how you got there or who you are, right? And it gives you an opportunity to share. It gives you an opportunity to network. It gives you an opportunity to share your knowledge, to gain some more knowledge, right? So make sure that you are following these 8, I call them hacks, 8 tricks to making sure that you are boosting your confidence. So now, listen, Sarah's in the background, and Sarah's also keeping me honest. Here's what you need to do if you want to be a part of the giveaway. You need to put in the comments #pen, #PEN. That's all you have to do to enter to be a part of this giveaway. Put in #pen. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to do that, or a minute to do that, because it's 4 characters, so you don't even really need a minute. But go ahead and put #pen in the comments, and it will automatically qualify you for the giveaway. And if anybody's familiar with the Fallible Nation, these giveaways are great. Okay, so don't miss out on the opportunity for that. #pen. I see Katie jumped in with #pen. So I want the rest of you jump in with #pen. That is your only thing that you have to do in order to get this giveaway. Now, while you're doing that, I'm going to mention again. Oh, thank you. It just jumped up. What was your aha moment? Comment in the chat. Let us know what was your aha moment if you had one. Also, if you have any questions, prepare your questions. You have 2 ways of doing that. You can put them in the comments with QQ in front of them, or you can fill out the form to go live with me, which I would love to see some of your faces, especially those of you who have been engaging with me in the comments and keeping me honest. Go ahead and throw your questions in so you can come up live and ask those questions. I see somebody else put in Twisted Designer put in, Jessica put in. All right, so we got some folk coming in for the giveaway. And while you're doing that, let me also, while you are subscribing, hopefully those of you who are on here are already subscribed to the Fallible Man. I also want you to check out the website, which is thefallibleman.com. Make sure that you're checking out the website. I'll mention it again right before we end, but make sure you're checking out the website as well. I want everybody who's watching this, or everybody who may be watching the replay, I need you to flood the YouTube channel and the website. I need you to know Brent and his lovely wife, Sarah. I need you to know what they're doing at the Fallible Man. I need you to get involved in that community. I need you to be a part of what is happening over here at the Fallible Man. Trust me. This is, well, you don't know me, so saying trust me is kind of relative, but you want to be here. I promise you, you want to be here. All right. So you want to check out the the website. All right, how many people do we have for the giveaway? Let's see. Who do we got so far? We have, at least according to the comments, looks like we have 3 people that are part of the giveaway. All right. Anybody else want to get in on this giveaway? Um, can the host get in on this giveaway? Probably not. You know how they say on the TV, um, that people who work there or who people who do other things, they can't be involved. I'm just letting you know the giveaways are great. That's why I was trying to get in on it. So I will take the cue from the lovely producer as to when it is time to actually go ahead and spin for that, or do we want to give folk a little bit extra time for that, or do we want to go ahead and do that now? I'll let the producer let me know. All right, looks like we're ready to go. Okay, we're ready to go. And Brent said he'll join for me. Absolutely, absolutely. So it looks like we're ready to go, and I'll let the great Sarah take it away. And whenever you are ready, we'll go. Oh, who is it going to be? Katie. Oh, Twisted Designer. It tricked me. Twisted Designer. Congratulations. You are the winner of this giveaway. And so they will contact you, or no. How does this work? Because this is the part I didn't talk about. How you will actually get your gift. These guys are so good at it. So don't let my fumbling, make you feel any kind of way. You will get a fantastic gift from the Fallible man, from Brent and the team. They will make sure that you are taken care of. All right. Twisted Designer said, yay, absolutely. And Brent says, I got him. Excellent. So congratulations. Let's give him another round of applause. Congratulations, Twisted Designer, for getting that. Now, do we have any questions? We got any questions? Um, Go ahead and hit me with your questions. You have any questions about maybe how to do some of these 8 things? Maybe one thing stands out that you really want to try to do. You want to get some practical tips on how to do that, or any other questions that you may have. If you just want to show your face and say what's up to the Fallible Nation, go ahead and fill out that form. If you want to stay in the comments, go ahead and put QQ before your question, and we'll take some of those questions. So while you're doing that, I'll give you a minute or two to decide if you want to do that or not, because I don't want to prolong the show as well. I think we've been here for about an hour. I don't want to talk you to death. But while you're deciding whether you want to do that or not, I just want to say 2 things. And those 2 things are this. It is very important that you are being intentional about doing the work that's necessary to boost your confidence, and to make sure that you are putting yourself mentally and psychologically and even physically and emotionally in a position to always, like somebody said earlier, to always look at the positive. Because what that will do is it will change your perspective. And it's a trickle down from there. Everything follows your perspective, your approach. Listen, and the second thing is, with it, which is tied to the first, if you don't like the results that you're getting right now, if you feel like you're not feeling that confident, you feel like there's some hurdles you can't get over, start to backtrack and look at, where is your perspective? How are you thinking towards things? What is your attitude towards things? Is it pessimistic or is it optimistic? And then begin to make the changes and adjustments necessary. Get around the right people, get in the right environments, read the right books, and do those things that begin to allow you to psychologically and physiologically put yourself in a place to be able to get to where you want to get to. I see Sarah says, I'm never sure when eye contact will be taken the wrong way. Yeah, I trust me, I understand that, because we're not often used to that, right? Because sometimes the eye contact, especially if eye contact for you has a negative connotation. So I give you an example. So I remember when I was in school, I was in grade school. If the teacher was doing something and looked over at me like that and really looked in my eyes, I'm like, oh, I don't like that. Right. And so if you have a bunch of experiences like that, that you tie to something that really isn't hasn't the best positive moment, then it can kind of make you feel that way. So again, what I would say is what you do is to get confident, because in order to, because sometimes, can I just be honest with you guys? Some of you don't really know me that well, but I'm a very honest guy. Sometimes it's not so much about you being concerned about if it's going to be taken the wrong way, because sometimes the other person has some confidence issues as well. And so it's just about you now feeling confident enough to present yourself a certain way, and being able to practice in a space that's safe, with a family member that you love, with a spouse or significant other that you love, can get you in the space where you're confident enough to know that what you're giving off is not negative. And so if somebody's taking it the wrong way, then there's some work that they have to do as well. Twisted Designer has a question. Oliver, how do you have any other tips that weren't mentioned? So, Twisted Designer, I talk a whole lot. So the quick answer to that is yes. But I'll say this, as it relates to this particular topic, I'll say one of them is what I just said, just making sure that you're really being intentional about uh, checking what your mindset is, because all of these things are behavioral things that we talked about, right? We talked about walking faster, talking slower, accomplishing goals, dressing nicely, taking the front row. These are all behavioral adjustments that we're asking you to make. But here's the thing: in order to sustain behavioral adjustments, you have to also have the mindset that aligns with that. And I use myself as an example often. I started to make behavioral changes in my life, but I never changed my perspective or my mindset. And remember, I said that your approach typically always follows your perspective. So I'll say this: behavioral change without mindset change is not sustainable. So that's another tip that I can give you. So all of these behavioral changes that we've talked about, these 8 things, they are only as good as how positive you actually feel about yourself. And maybe we have to start back there with, hey, what's my perspective on life? What's my perspective on myself? How can I sustain these behavioral changes until I get that mindset together? So that's the tip I have for you. Hopefully that is beneficial for you, Twisted Designer. Thank you so much for your question, and Sarah for yours as well. So listen, I have had a fantastic time. I hope that you have had a fantastic time. Thank you so much to the Fallible Nation. Thank you for putting up my YouTube. If you want to follow us, you can definitely do that as well. We would love to have you as a part of our community. I never told you who I was. I told you my name, but I didn't tell you who I was. And I know Brent said it in the comments. But I am, along with my wife, we have a company, Denali LLC. We are passionate about all things uh, marriage and relationship enrichment and men's empowerment. And what we do is we help married couples to communicate without frustration and judgment, to increase their intimacy level in all areas, and to essentially build the relationship or marriage of their dreams. And I'm big on men's empowerment. I wrote a book about that, and it's a book for men. And so, as such, I help men and empower men to show up as the best version of themselves in both their professional and their personal lives by overcoming what we call the man laws. So, we would love to have you as a part of our community. I love the Fallible Nation, love Brent and his wife and family, and we're gonna be doing some more things together. I had the privilege of being on his show, I think twice, I think, and so make sure you check those out as well. Twisted Designer said, "Thanks, Oliver." Absolutely, I'm glad that that was beneficial for you. So listen, here's the thing. These are my closing thoughts. Make sure that you're intentional about creating the mindset that allows you now to be intentional about taking these steps to build your confidence. Because once your confidence builds, sky's the limit. Listen, I'm I am a fallible man, but I'm not the fallible man. So I'm going to say I am a fallible man. And until next time, listen, here's the thing. And Brent says this best. I'm going to say it kind of in my own words, but you'll have a better tomorrow because of what you do today. Blessings on you, family. I had a great time being here. And until next time, you guys have a fantastic life.